And good afternoon, race fans. Welcome here as we get ready for race number 13 of the season of the NNSCRA Hersheys Cup Series. And yes, I know I said that last week's race at Dover was race number 13, but I was actually wrong. I looked back and I found out we actually have only run 12 Hersheys Cup Series races, and Richmond was the next down the schedule before we go to All-Star Race Weekend. So sorry to those that I said we were going to All-Star Race Weekend yet, but we still got one more race before we get there, and that's the Toyota Autos Insurance 300 here today. It'll be 40 laps of racing. Nathan Hudson lines up on the pole, and this is the last opportunity that drivers have in a points-paying race to make their way into the All-Star race. J Srigley lines up in second, then K Batson, Benjamin Miles will make up row two. Of course, Benjamin Miles finishing second last week at Dover to his teammate K Llamas, maybe trying to go for back-to-back wins for NW Racing. But without further ado, it's time to get these cars rolling off. One thing that I've done different now for the remainder of the season, if you look down in the description, we don't have the knockout qualifying sessions anymore. If you look down in the description, that shows you what the two heats were for the knockout qualifying session, and you'll see the 7 drivers that made it above the cut line to make this race. So that's how that's going to go for the remainder of the season instead of putting out the knockout qualifying sessions. But here we go, green flag's out, and we're underway here already. And Nathan Hudson trying to pick up his second career win in the Hersheys Cup Series. And he clears for the top position. The battle is now on for second. Good lord, the frames. I am looking into getting some more RAM for my computer, which should help with this, so just please be patient with me. I am currently in the process of trying to get my my races with better performances. Here comes the battle for the lead. J Srigley, nice run there into turns 1 and 2, right onto the back bumper of Nathan Hudson as he'll try taking the race lead. Now here he comes to the inside into turn 3. Can he get the run off of turn 4 is the question, and yes he does. Nice job by J Srigley setting up Nathan Hudson perfectly, and he'll move to the top position. Hudson now slides back into second, and here's Benjamin Miles all over him for the second position. Miles now going to try and make the move heading down here into turn number 3. Looks like Hudson's not quite as good in 1 and 2. And that allows drivers to set him up for 3 and 4 as now Miles with a nice big run down the front straightaway, and he's now on the back bumper of J Srigley for the race lead. D Poteet right back there in 4th, a battle for 5th going on between K Batson and Dylan Young, and there's Miles to the bottom, and clear Srigley, so move Miles to the top position. Let's follow this battle back here, 3rd place, D Poteet, the Dragon Ball Z Chevrolet out of Tweenix Racing to the inside of Nathan Hudson out of Anime Racing Team, and then Dylan Young right now is now moved into the 5th spot, and he's waiting to see which line here in this 3rd place battle is going to open up. Looks like it'd be the inside line as Poteet clears for the position, move him to 3rd, Hudson back to 4th. Here comes Dylan Young for that position. Let's not forget Dylan Young ended up winning last season in the Hersheys Cup Series, his first win of the year, but it came during the chase, so he didn't have an opportunity for his victory to count towards a chase spot. Now, if he can find victory lane before the chase begins this season, he'll be battling for his first Hersheys Cup Series championship, as he now has moved up into 4th place. Now Hudson back to 5th, and he's got K Mathews, our winner from Rockingham, United Kingdom, right behind him in that 6th position. You got Fitzwater there as well. J Shelton is there as well in the 02. So a couple of drivers from Retro Rates and Enterprises up here inside the top 10. And look who's starting to make his way towards the front, Chris Dodd in the 88, who's actually been picking up some spots in the point standings, but our defending race winners, or not defending race winner, I'm sorry, defending champion is still trying to find victory lane for the first time this season as he's trying to defend his title from last year, and now he's going to have a battle on his hands for 9th place. J Ciculli down to the inside, trying to take that spot. Ciculli had 2 wins last season. One of those wins actually came at Martinsville, which is a short track. Richmond kind of considered a short track as well, so not surprising to see Ciculli up here. It's been a real struggling season for him. Talk about struggling. Nathan Hudson started on the pole, and in about 9 laps time, he is now going to drop outside of the top 9. This now drops him back to 10th place. And we have a new second place car. J Srigley lost second place to D Poteet, and now Dylan Young moves by for third. Battle between the Dylans, that's for second, going on behind the current race leader, Benjamin Miles, in the 42. And here comes Dylan Young to the inside of D Poteet for that position. D Poteet was in the championship hunt in the chase back in season 1. Had a win that came, I believe it was at Dover, if memory serves me correctly. And now he's battling for third place with J Srigley. Dylan Young now moves into second, right behind the current race leader, Benjamin Miles, who has seemed to come to life all of a sudden. Second place last week at Dover, and right now showing the way here at Richmond. Let's go back and see where some of our other race winners this season, where they're currently situated. There's J Baskinger, our winner from Bristol Dirt. He's actually in a battle right now for 11th place. He just is about to take that away from Nathan Hudson, following Tim Walsh, who just moved up to 10th. Dallas McIntosh right now, I believe that'd be a battle for the 13th position, 12th or 13th. I think it's the 13th position. And there's Cole Baker, our Talladega race winner there as well. So quite a number of our former race winners up here inside the top 20. There's Emmanuel Hartnett, our winner from Eldora, and our Daytona 500 winner, Sean Gallighan, who's been doing a great job and getting good finishes the past couple of weeks to get himself away from 30th in points. He's now up here as well. Currently, last time by, scored in 19th place. Two-time winner Matt Haas, the rookie this season. There he is. He's last time scored in the 22nd position, and the highest starter of our go-or-go-home machines that made it in through knockout qualifying. Matt Daleo right now is currently in 23rd. He's moving by the J Arndt machine for 22nd. K Jazzin right behind him as well, another rookie who raced in via knockout qualifying this week. Blaine Keys back here, our winner from Gravity City. He's not having the best of runs. Neither is our former race winner from last week, Cody Llamas, right now all the way back in 37th place. And there's John Bunnell, our winner from Bermuda. Had to make races in order to get to the top 30 in points. Right now is in this race, made it in via knockout qualifying. However, not exactly running the best. Back here with our Finion race winner, K Tellier, as well. Last time by, scored in the 37th position. James Qualls, Michael Norman way back here in his last Richmond start. DJ Curtis made the race. He's all the way back here. Last time scored in 40th. Levi McIntyre back in 41st, and J.T. Bryant, his teammate, back in 42nd, dead last. And in danger of maybe getting lapped if this thing continues to run green for a time. Kind of interesting. You've got Dylan Young right now, the 2-car, running in second, but his two teammates out of Young Motorsports are running 41st and 42nd, in danger of possibly going a lap down to Benjamin Miles, depending on how this green flag run goes. Zachary Fitzwater's moved up to third place. Good run for him. Haven't seen Fitzwater in victory lane in quite a while. And Fitzwater doing a good job right now in that Dodge Dart. Of course, remember last season, the team of Fitzwater Australia Racing was a 3-car team with Fitzwater, Baskinger, and Dougie Shears. Shears then moved over to Michael Norman Motorsports, making Fitzwater Australia Racing a 2-car team. And so far, they've got one victory this season with Baskinger at Bristol Dirt, that is. Fitzwater trying to get both of the Wilson Security Dodge Darts into the chase if possible. And Benjamin Miles has now encountered the last car on the lead lap, 42nd place J.T. Bryant, so now he's going to have to start dealing with traffic. That could be good news for Dylan Young, Zachary Fitzwater, those guys that are second, third on back to try and catch up. As Miles now puts J.T. Bryant in his rearview mirror. And also the kind of good news for Dylan Young is the fact that the 2 cars that were on the tail end lead lap and now his teammate J.T. Bryant a lap down is just that, they're teammates. So they're probably going to do their best to hold up Benjamin Miles and then let Dylan Young by. So this works out very well for Dylan Young, at least right now. Well, I thought that was going to be the case, but it looks like J.T. Bryant is any too excited about letting his teammate by him. Bryant is a lap down now, And this is actually going to hurt Dylan Young rather than help him. J Bryant did not let his teammate Dylan Young by, and that's allowing Zachary Fitzwater now the opportunity to battle for second. Now Bryant looks like he's going to be a teammate holding up Fitzwater, and that allows Dylan Young to hold on to second, at least for the moment. Next car that Benjamin Miles would encounter would be Levi McIntyre. We're more than halfway through this race. We still have the possibility of pit stops looming, as Benjamin Miles trying to make it 2 races in a row where an NW Racing Chevrolet goes to victory lane. Cody Llamas did it last week, making it only his second Hersheys Cup Series career win. Benjamin Miles, on the other hand, he's been to victory lane, if memory serves me correctly, a total of 3 times in his Hersheys Cup Series career. I believe it was once in season 1 and twice last season. Both seasons he's made the chase for the championship as well. And now Miles has caught Levi McIntyre. Let's see how much of an issue Levi is going to be for Benjamin, and Benjamin quickly gets to the inside. Looks like it won't be that much of difficulty for Benjamin Miles to get around Levi McIntyre. Now Levi McIntyre falls a lap down to the race leader. Dylan Young there still in second, but now has another lap machine he'll have to deal with before he can continue to try to set his sights on Benjamin Miles. But I've been looking at the lap times, and Dylan Young's losing more ground than gaining. Fitzwater is in third, and here's Joshua Ciculli right now in fourth, all over the back bumper of Fitzwater, trying to take that position away. Not going to be able to get the spot, at least this time. Dylan Poteet still running solidly in 5th place. Then you got Kyle Mathews in 6th. Good run for him. 7th place is Chris Dodd, another solid outing for the defending champion. J Baskinger makes it Fitzwater Australia Racing, both cars in the top 10 as he's in 8th. J Shelton right now running well in 9th, so 2 of the Retro Racing Enterprises cars up inside the top 10. And completing your top 10 is the 15 out of Michael Norman Motorsports, Tim Walsh. Move back up close to the front of the field here. Whoa, Michael Norman. Are green flag pit stops happening or something? The 3 car is down way on the bottom of the racetrack. I don't know if he's coming to pit road or not, and it would appear he is. So yeah, looks like the cycle of green flag pit stops are beginning. And it looks like DJ Curtis has fallen a lap down to the race leader now as well. And now K Tellier in the sights of Benjamin Miles. So looks like we're going to be having some green flag pit stops to shuffle this up pretty soon. And we are nearing 10 to go. It's 11 at the line just now that Miles hit. And now he'll put K Tellier down a lap. Haven't really seen a whole lot out of K Tellier since her win at Infineon. It's been a bit of a downward slide for that team. And now finds herself a lap down here. And if green flag pit stops have anything to do with it, I think you're going to find a lot more drivers falling off the lead lap as well. Benjamin Miles has been setting a blistering pace. There's now a new 2nd place car in Zachary Fitzwater, but he's 2.7 seconds back. And there are 2 lap machines who are not really slow either between himself and the race leader Benjamin Miles. So right now things looking really good for Benjamin, who hits the stripe, and there are 9 laps to go. There is the possibility that maybe Miles could make it without having to pit. Haven't really seen anybody else, with the exception of Michael Norman, dive onto pit road yet. Let's see if anybody else is on pit lane as we speak. No, there's nobody else on pit road. The only one that hit pit road was Michael Norman. And there he is right there in the 3 car. So, I don't know. Maybe there was something amiss on the 3 of Norman. Let's not forget, he was way back in the field. Dropped all the way back into around the mid-30s. And, oh, wait, we got trouble up ahead! Trouble up ahead! Someone is spun! Caution's gonna come out! And I don't know who it is. Oh, my goodness, look at this. They're still wrecking! Canepa gets into to Gallighan. Miles got involved. Dylan Young's involved. Carson Scott is around. The race leader is involved. L Alvarise is in it. Chris Dodd is in it. John Bunnell is in it. There is Miles. Fitzwater's involved. A number of drivers who are inside the top 10, top 5 even. Miles is on pit road. Sandfer's got damaged. Tellier is damaged. Bunnell's involved. Ciculli's involved. They're still wrecking. They are still wrecking, it sounds like. Blaine Keys has got damage. Trying to get through here as quickly as I can through the field. Dylan Young's on pit road. Fitzwater, McCrury, Joshua Michaels was on pit road. Ciculli scored as the race leader, but he's got damage. Looks like he's coming to pit lane. Blaine Keys is damaged. He's coming to pit road. And I think this turns the lead over to Dylan Poteet. But I'm surprised that Poteet's actually not coming to pit road. None of these guys have been to pit road. I don't even know what happened. I don't know if it was maybe a green flag pit stop issue. Dylan Young's going to continue. And he's dropped all the way back. Looks like they've got him scored in 19th. I don't think that's where he's running. See where he crosses the line here. He was up in the top 5, and now he's 29th, according to the scoring monitor. Dylan Poteet's the race leader, I believe. No, he's not. Who is the race leader? Oh, I think it's Ciculli. Yeah, it's Ciculli, but Ciculli just came to pit road. So, yeah, that would cycle the lead over to Dylan Poteet. But, man. Well, we're under caution for the first time, and we're gonna have 5 laps to go when they hit the stripe. So we'll take a look at a replay real quick, come back. But about 4 drivers in the top 5 just got taken out by whatever happened, and it didn't even start with the race leaders. Well, here's how it started. They were 3 wide coming off of turn number 2. And Dallas McIntosh is going to get into J Bryant. So it didn't have a thing to do with green flag pit stops. It was just a terrible situation off turn 2. J Bryant, who was a lap down, holding up traffic. He gets hooked by McIntosh down into N Hudson. And you can see it's a big, roomy space here on the back straightaway for drivers to try and avoid. But when you got 2 cars that are completely sideways, everybody else trying to dart left and right to avoid, the holes close up very quickly. Z Flickinger comes flying in, nearly gets into J Bryant. Look at Chris Dollerton. He's going to get involved, gets into Sean Gallighan. And then as just cars start piling up, that just closes up all the holes to be able to maneuver through as well. Sandfer gets involved. Joshua Michaels is involved. Don't know about Cody Llamas there in the 48, last week's winner. Isaac Canepa, he gets nailed from behind by Carson Scott, not able to slow up at all. He comes sliding into this. I don't know if he gets into the back of Hudson or not. Look at everybody just trying to go high, try to go low, but there's a car right in front of him, whichever way you go. L Alvarise goes down. He gets the inside safer barrier trying to get low. Anthony McCrury gets the wall back there as well. And then, this is where it really gets scary, is the fact that they are leaving the scene of the accident 5 wide, about 2 rows deep. They are 6 wide at one point here. Right there. They are 6 wide right at that moment. And then Gallighan is going to get hooked, I believe, by Canepa right there. As Galligan's trying to go to the inside of Sandfer. Canepa is there. That's going to turn Gallighan around again. Ciculli never slowed down. Neither did Dylan Young. They go plowing into this. And then watch there. There's Benjamin Miles. There's Carson Scott. Scott got down on the apron. I think the car spun out on him. Miles is trying to avoid him. Ciculli nails Carson Scott there as well. So more damage for the 73. And then Carson Scott's trying to get his car turned around. And here is the guy who was the race leader. Let's see if we can get a better camera angle here of what happens. We'll go with the helicopter view. It probably is our best bet of seeing what happens. Oh, something happens further up again involving McCrury, Michaels. Oh, and then Fitzwater. Oh, they just started hitting the water barrels. L Alvarise hit it. K Tellier hit it. And then Miles does the same. And then Dylan Young drives into Miles. Now, the reason that they did that was because they did not want to come to pit road. They were not planning on pitting, but apparently they just didn't bring their cars back up onto the racing surface quickly enough. Oh, and then here comes the 78 of M Haas, and looks like he's going to be wise and keep his car on the racetrack or something there. But so that's what happened. A lot of drivers with the unfortunateness of being caught down on the apron. And that's going to really, that just shuffled up our top 5 for sure. Let's go back for the restart. We're going to have less than 5 to go. So as we're waiting for the 1 to green signal, which we have not gotten yet, the lights are still on atop the pace car. This is the way that things run after a rather chaotic closing to this race. 4 drivers out of the top 5 at the time that the wreck happened involved in the wreck. A couple of them actually behind the wall. We'll document that in a minute. Dylan Poteet, as a result, inherits the lead. Kyle Mathews second. J Shelton now up to third. So Retro Racing Enterprises up inside the top 3. J Baskinger is up in 4th. T Walch is 5th. 6th, Chris Dodd. And then these drivers jumped up into the top 10 due to all of the drivers retiring that were up inside the top 5. Matt Haas now up to 7th. J Srigley in 8th. 9th, Brandon Gonzales, and Cole Baker now cracks the top 10. Drivers at this point that we know are indeed out of the race include Zachary Fitzwater, Benjamin Miles. They were running up in 1st and 2nd. Blaine Keys, he's also out of the race. Also John Bunnell, Leon Alvarise, Joshua Michaels, Anthony McCrury, and our Infineon race winner and points leader coming into this race, K Tellier, out of the race. Michael Norman is 3 laps down. 1 lap down are Levi McIntyre, J Bryant, and Carson Scott. And DJ Curtis right now scored on the tail end of the lead lap as he will restart ahead of the leader, Dylan Poteet. It'll be a single file restart. You see Michael Norman there. He is the 6th car in line, but he is 3 laps down, but he's not on the inside line for this restart because it is less than 10 to go. It will actually be a green-white checker to finish this race. Next flag will more than likely end the race. Can Dylan Poteet hang on? Can Kyle Mathews, J Shelton, Baskinger, Walsh, can they make a move here in the final 2 laps? Green flag is out. Dylan Poteet goes to the inside of Curtis, and here comes Kyle Mathews. He timed to start perfectly, trying to get to the inside of Poteet, heading into turn 1, and he is there. Might have been a little bit of contact between himself and Poteet, but Mathews, not to be denied, forces his way to the inside and clears for the top position. Shelton now looking for 2nd. White flag will be displayed this time. Kyle Mathews will see it. Mathews, former winner this season at Rockingham, UK, trying to pick up his 2nd win of the season and maybe a guaranteed spot in this season's chase for the Hersheys Cup Series Championship. Shelton has cleared Poteet for 2nd. Looks like it's going to be Retro Racing Enterprises 1-2, but it'll be Kyle Mathews picking up win number 2 as out of turn 4, he'll come to the stripe, and he will win the Toyota's Insurance 300. We might have had a wreck in the closing stages here, I don't know. Oh wow, as Mathews runs into the back of Ciculli. Yeah, it looks like Isaac Canepa wrecked with somebody, but it doesn't matter. They raced back to the checkered flag regardless, and Kyle Mathews will join Matt Haas as a 2-time winner this season in the Hersheys Cup Series and may have just clinched himself a spot in this season's chase for the championship. And Retro Racing Enterprises indeed gets a 1-2 finish. Let's take a look at the full finish results from today's race here at Richmond. So here's what the finishing results look like. A rather jumbled restart, but this is the end result. It's Kyle Mathews officially with the win, and it's a 1-2 finish. Back-to-back weekends that we've had 1-2 finishes for teams. Last week it was NW Racing. This week it's Retro Racing Enterprises with Mathews winning and Shelton coming home 2nd. Jake Baskinger fought his way up to 3rd. Poteet was the leader when the green flag came out for the restart. He finishes out the day, though, in 4th. Matt Haas fought his way up to 5th. T Walch 6th. Srigley in 7th. Daleo finishes 8th. Good run for that go-or-go-homer. Cole Baker in 9th. And how about K Jazzin as well? Another go-or-go-home driver getting a solid top 10 run. Rest of the cars to finish on the lead lap. J Richardson in 11th. McIntosh in 12th. Hartnett 13th. Flickinger 14th. Cody Llamas was actually way back there, but that caution came out at just the right time. And Llamas with a solid run of 15th. Trent Dunham gets 16th. Pole sitter Nathan Hudson was dropping way back, but still managed to finish 17th. Chris Dodd dropped back to 18th. Chris Dollarton 19th. And Keith Batson finished in 20th. And then the last car to finish the race on the lead lap was Sean Gallighan. Now, the reason that way is because of when drivers cross the start-finish line as opposed to when the leader crossed the start-finish line. So a number of these other drivers actually did finish on the lead lap, but it just doesn't show it in the finishing results. Dylan Young, 25th when he was up there at the front. Tough break for him. As you look on down further, Joshua Ciculli was up inside the top 5 for a majority of the race. He finishes 29th. DJ Curtis there, along with Levi McIntyre, Carson Scott, J Bryant. They had struggling days starting from the very beginning. And Michael Norman was the last car to finish the race, even though he was 3 laps down in 34th. And the drivers out of the race, Zachary Fitzwater was running in, I believe, was second when he wrecked. Benjamin Miles was leading the race when he wrecked. 35th and 36th is all they get for their efforts today. Blaine Keys finishes 37th. Bunnell, tough break there for our Bermuda race winner in 38th. Not going to help that rookie get towards the top 30 in points. And then Leon Alvarez, Joshua Michaels, Anthony McCrury, and K Tellier all finished behind the wall as well in 39th through 42nd. So that's what the finishing results were. It's time to now look at our point standings. Finally, we are heading to All-Star Race Weekend, so let's take a look at what the point standings look like after race number 13. Well, K Tellier came into this race as the points leader, but finishing dead last is not going to help her as far as keeping the points lead. She drops down to third in points now, with Cole Baker jumping back to the top of the leaderboard. 13 points over now new second-place driver, Z Flickinger. So Flickinger jumps up to second, Tellier drops to third. Trent Dunham moves up to fourth place. Fifth place now is M Haas as Leon Alvarez drops from third down to sixth. Blaine Keys drops a spot to seventh. And then moving up a spot, each McIntosh, Hartnett, and Srigley up to 8th, 9th, and 10th. Baskinger, with his top 5 run, gets up to 11th. Shelton jumps up to 12th place, 4 spots up. And our race winner, K Mathews, actually jumps up 5 spots in the point standings as he'll finish, or as he'll head into the second half of the regular season, 15th in the point standings. Another driver that jumped up big time in the points was D Poteet, up 6 spots to 27th. So that gets him away from the 30th position in the point stands as things stand right now. Benjamin Miles, on the other hand, drops 6 spots down to 28th. You also look as far as the top 30 is concerned, and drivers that, if they find victory lane, they're going to have a tough time fighting their way into the top 30, including Anthony McCrury, J Bryant. They just fell out of the top 30. Daniel Voyles, 33rd. Gonzales and Carson Scott as well. As we jump down here and take a look as far as the drivers that are basically the non-chartered drivers and where they're situated in the point standings, you can see here John Bunnell. We just do not see him at all gaining any ground. He actually lost a spot to K Jazzin this week in the point standings, dropping down to 44th in the standings. So if he's going to get that win to have him towards a chase spot at all, he's either got to get a charter or he's got to make more races and actually have productive finishes. DJ Curtis jumped up 10 spots. Matthew Daleo, James Qualls, all the drivers that made the race basically moving up in the point standings. You go on down here to the remainder of the standings. And then here's your rookie points. M Haas, of course, still continuing to dominate. Chris Dollerton, who made this race, he's got only 8 points over Isaac Canepa. Both those drivers made this race, and don't exactly remember where either one of them finished. But I believe, I might be wrong, but I believe Dollerton did beat Canepa in the finishing results. But it's looking like it's definitely going to be M Haas with the Rookie of the Year honors as he continues to make the races with the charter that he got. But that's the way that the rookie point standings look like after this race. So, as things stand right now, the drivers that would make it into the chase locked in on wins based on where they are in the point standings would be, obviously, M Haas and K Mathews. They're now 2-time winners. Cole Baker, K Tellier, Blaine Keys, Dallas McIntosh, Emmanuel Hartnett, J Baskinger, C Llamas, and S Gallighan. That's 10 spots right now that could be locked up. There are only 6 available spots left for either race winners or drivers that would get in highest in the point standings. As it stands right now, those 6 spots, if the chase were to begin right now, those spots would go to Z Flickinger, Trent Dunham, Leon Alvarez, Jessica Shelton, Joshua Michaels, and Nathan Hudson. So those drivers, despite maybe not getting to victory lane, they're going to try and keep consistent finishes to keep themselves in contention to get into the chase, maybe via points, but I'm certain they would like to go to victory lane. So now, officially, folks, next week we will be having All-Star Race Weekend in the Hersheys Cup Series. More than likely, we will not have All-Star Race Weekend for the Almond Joy Series since it's only the first season for them. So it'll probably just be All-Star Race Weekend for the Hersheys Cup Series. But nonetheless, hope you'll tune in for that. Then after that, the Almond Joy Series takes another off week as we get ready for the longest race of the season, the Coca-Cola 600 at Charlotte. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed this race. If you did, be sure to give us a like, subscribe, to be part of the crew today. We've shown you your full finishing results. Here's your point standings, and we'll see you guys next time as we will begin the second half of the regular season very soon on the NNSCRA Sports Channel. Offline racing at its best.